Hey everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. This is day 5 of our series on improving your English, and today we're diving into one of the most crucial skills, pronunciation.
That's right. Hi, everyone. I'm Emma, and I'm here with Zero. If you've been following along, you've already got some solid foundation, but today is all about making sure people understand exactly what you're saying, which is super important.
Absolutely, because let's be honest, there's nothing more frustrating than having someone not understand you, even if you know the right words. So, Emma, let's get into it. How can we improve our English pronunciation?
Well, Zero, one of the biggest tips I always give to my students is to focus on the sounds that are most difficult for you. You know, every language has specific sounds that are tricky for non-native speakers. For example, in English, the TH sound, as in think or this, is something many learners struggle with.
Right. I know for me, it was definitely the the sound when I started learning English. I used to say F instead of ij, like thank instead of thank.
Ha ha ha. Yes, I've heard that one. It's totally common. So here's what I recommend. When practicing those tricky sounds, slow down and pay attention to where your tongue is. For the TR sound, your tongue should be just slightly between your teeth. It's more about practice than perfection.
That's a great point. You can't expect perfection right away, right? It's all about consistency. You just need to keep practicing until it feels natural.
Exactly. And speaking of consistency, another trick is to listen to native speakers. This helps you get familiar with the rhythm and intonation of the language. It's one thing to know the words, but how you say them matters just as much.
Totally. Like the stress in words is so important in English. For example, in the word record, when it's a noun, you stress the first syllable, record. But when it's a verb, it's the second syllable, record.
I love this example, zero. It's a great reminder that pronunciation isn't just about individual sounds. It's also about how we stress syllables in words and sentences. Intonation really changes the meaning, doesn't it?
Yep. It's something I didn't realize at first. Intonation can change your message completely. You could say, really? With a rising intonation, which means you're surprised or confused. Or you could say it with a falling intonation to sound more certain. It all depends on how you say it.
Right. And let's not forget the connected speech part of pronunciation. In natural English, we don't always say words clearly and separately. For instance, I am going to often sounds like I'm gonna. Or, what do you want to do might sound like wanna do.
Oh, totally. It took me a while to get used to that. When I first started, I thought I had to say every word, clearly and separately. But once I started listening to native speakers and imitating them, I realized how much more natural it sounds when words blend together.
Exactly. And when you're practicing connected speech, try saying full sentences out loud, slowly at first, then gradually increase your speed. It's all about making it feel natural. And don't worry, mistakes are just part of the process.
Totally. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. It's about improving over time. So, what would you say is the best way to practice pronunciation on a daily basis?
Great question. I always tell people to shadow native speakers. This means listening to short clips of conversations or speeches and repeating exactly what you hear, mimicking the sounds, rhythm, and intonation. You can do this with movies, podcasts, YouTube videos, or even language learning apps.
I love that. Shadowing is super helpful, and the key is to not just focus on individual words, but also the flow of the sentences. The more you imitate the rhythm, the better your pronunciation will sound.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to record yourself and listen back. Sometimes we don't realize how we sound until we hear it. This can really help you identify areas for improvement.
That's true. It can be a little uncomfortable at first, but it's so worth it. Plus, you can track your progress over time, which is motivating.
I agree. And remember, zero. Pronunciation isn't just about sounding like a native speaker. It's about being clear and understood. So even if you have an accent, that's totally fine. The goal is clarity, not perfection.
Such a great point, Emma. Embrace your accent. It's a part of who you are. The goal is to communicate effectively, and with practice, you'll get there.
Exactly. So, let's wrap up today's episode with a challenge for our listeners. Try shadowing a native speaker for just 10 minutes today. Pick a sentence or two and really focus on how they say it. Pay attention to the rhythm, the stress, and the intonation. You've got this.
I love that challenge. And as always, keep practicing every day. If you keep working on your pronunciation, you'll definitely see improvements.
Thanks for tuning in to Day 5, guys. Keep working on your English, and we'll be back tomorrow with more tips. See you soon.
Bye, everyone. Take care.